Hello everyone, we have talked about local foods, we have talked about seasonal foods, but what happens when we combine both? There's a beauty in combining local and seasonal foods. What is it? Hi, I'm Dr. Rashmi Kulkarni, co-founder of Arna Genext Solutions. What is the beauty in combining local and seasonal foods? In the previous videos, we have looked at the importance of whatever is in season and how nature makes it just for us for that particular season. And we also looked at the importance of eating locally grown foods. So what happens when we combine both? Let us see in 5 simple points as usual. The first thing we need to know is the local seasonal connection. That whenever we experience any kind of a season, our body needs something different. Just like in winters, people tend to fall sick a lot. There are many warm foods or foods that produce warmth in our body that are consumed during that time, and they grow only in that particular season. Similarly, cooling, hydrating foods that grow like cucumbers in the summer provide this coolness that our body requires, the hydration that it requires. So this is very important to consider seasonal foods, and if it is locally grown, it brings in even more health benefits because we are better able to digest that kind of food. The way to identify local and seasonal food is something that is available only in a particular season and not throughout the year, and it is present only in that local area, nowhere else. This is how, and it is cheap when it is local and seasonal because it does not have to be transported from anywhere else. What is the second thing we need to know? The second thing we need to know is that it really impacts our gut health. Whenever we are consuming anything that is seasonal, that is local, it really boosts our immunity. It helps in digestion of that food. It gives us maximum health benefits. This is why we should consider local and seasonal food. The third thing that we need to know is the temptation to eat exotic foods and that are not in season. Just like I mentioned before, the exotic foods and also foods that are local but that are not in season, that are forced to grow. It is tempting to eat something like mangoes. People are very tempted to eat mangoes all year round. But are they in season? Are they grown locally? What is it that you are choosing? Is it giving your body the health benefits it requires at that time? Is one very important connection. Because what happens when we do not do that, when we keep consuming exotic foods, the fourth point here is that these exotic foods or these out of season foods actually are not digested very well by our body. And what happens when we cannot digest it? It leads to accumulation of a lot of toxic products. It leads to something called a leaky gut when it keeps on happening repeatedly. And what happens then, as you have seen before, is an increased risk of chronic diseases, an increased risk of infections, allergies, and even some forms of cancer. This is one very big reason why we should stay away from foods that are not in season, that are not local. And the fifth very important thing is when we choose local and seasonal foods, they are going to help us boost our immunity, they are going to help us prevent all of the chronic diseases, and they are tailor-made for our body for that particular season. They are also going to help the environment. We are not going to see too much of ripening agents also on these because they come from the local environment. They are growing in that particular season. They do not need artificial ripening. They do not need the use of so many pesticides and fertilizers. Just think about those very important reasons. In addition to improving the gut microbiome, you are also preventing all of these chemicals from being accumulated in your body. So just think about how much nutrition you are going to get from these seasonal and local foods. Make that choice today.